Hey there, I'm Mr. Terry. I'm your high school history teacher. Welcome back to another History Teacher Reacts video. All right, guys, today's video came from you all because it won my latest poll. Now, this video had been suggested, and that's why I put it in the poll. But then when it won, I was told that it's actually a sequel to another video. So I thought I should check out that prequel before we check out the one that won, which again was a sequel. Now, the one that won was titled How to Revive Your Country, and it's by the channel Historically. But the prequel we're going to be watching is called How to Survive a Genocide as a Prince. So please support the original video. It's going to be linked down below. Please support their channel. Subscribe to it. Give that original video the view. Then come on back. Be sure to sub to my channel. Give it a thumbs up. And make sure to head over to the posts section of my main YouTube channel page. And again, the polls I put out are videos that were suggested by you guys over on my Discord server, which is also linked down below. All right, let's check this out one. All right, I have no idea what this video is about, so let's find out. So it says, how to survive a genocide as a prince. I don't know who's this prince or where they're from, but if I know about it, I'm excited to share anything I got for you guys.
This video is made possible by War Thunder. Click the link in the description to claim your massive bonus pack and to get started.
I love their animations. They're cool. I like the parallax of the animations.
A while ago, I was researching the
artwork.
longest war ever in history, which spanned more than 700 years and is called the Reconquista. A massive war between invading Muslims and Christians who got to own the Iberian Peninsula. But while researching that massive war, I came across a smaller specific story that honestly felt like it came straight from a movie. Almost like an alternative Lord of the Rings story.
Okay, so this, I'm thinking maybe Umayyad Dynasty. So Umayyad Dynasty was the original Islamic dynasties and conquered all the way across the northern Africa, gets into Spain, and from then till the 1400s, 1492, when the Reconquistas is called, finishes up. That was 700 years of Islamic rule in Spain. So is that what we got here?
Story about
the
Umayyad
Dynasty doesn't last very long.
To revive his slain dynasty. But before I introduce you to that main character in this wild story, allow me to explain the state of the European and Islamic world around the year 700, so that we are all on the same page. And I'll start with 0.
Okay, it's important. Oh, he's going he's going way back. All right, it's going to year 0. But yeah, by 750, so what happened? It was 750. It is about a century out now for the life of Muhammad and his followers, and that next generation, kind of generation 2 and 3 of Islam, are expanding in basically all directions, coming out of the Arabian Peninsula and then setting up shop really around Mesopotamia and around the Fertile Crescent, and then as you can see, expanding, as you're going to see, expanding further. But actually, what you're looking at here is Rome.
Or actually, I'll start with the intro. Give me 5 seconds.
Okay.
Historically Facts, Part 7. Around the year 0, Jesus Christ was born within the Roman Empire in Bethlehem. Romans did a bad thing and welcomed Christianity into the world. Another thing that Romans were bad at is keeping barbarians from their soil. And the glorious Roman Empire
a lot of money and
turned
effort
in the span of 80 years into half of its original size, with only the Eastern Roman.
Now, by this time, 476, the final Western Roman Emperor has fallen. So we got Byzantine Empire, or just whatever you want to call it. I don't want to get into the whole what should we call the Byzantine Empire thing, but you get it.
Roman Empire continuing its memories. Around that time, in the year 570, Prophet Muhammad was born in the city of Mecca and spent his life preaching the word of Allah and uniting the Arabian Peninsula till his passing in 632 AD.
Preaching it after he, said he got his vision from Gabriel, so he was an adult by then.
With Prophet Muhammad passed on, the 4 caliphs, also known as the closest companions of his, started the Rashidun Caliphate and quickly expanded the caliphate's borders into the Eastern Roman Empire, the Persian Empire, and African territories. How did they manage to defeat 2 great empires at the same time?
They were already old.
Well, the Persians and self-proclaimed Romans had been fighting for centuries because of disputed territory, weakening both sides massively, which was beneficial for the rapidly approaching fresh Arab Empire.
That's a main point in a lot of common curriculums in world history, was the timing of sort of the Arabs taking over this region was perfect. Byzantine Empire, Persian Empire, they've been clashing forever. That's what happens when you fight. You look like that. And they were able to, basically use that as a wedge because they were weakened for centuries, right? Anyway.
Then, internal struggles. Prophet Muhammad never clearly told his followers who would follow his footsteps as the leader in the Islamic world, which left them with 4 candidates, also known as the caliphs, who I introduced before. It was quickly decided that those 3 were to be caliph first, and finally Ali as the 4th. This from the start caused a split within the Islamic world.
Who was the guy, by the way, that the Shia believed should have been the first one, because there was an immediate disagreement when he died. And even more about the process of it. Is this immediately going to be like a dynasty as far as someone from the bloodline of his family between him and his wife, Muhammad and his wife, or again, somebody kind of chosen from the community? So Sunnis today believe that the original right caliph was Abu Bakr, who was going to be his like right-hand man. Then you had this, group that supported Ali, who was from the family line. Those are the four, right?
Created the Shia and Sunni movement, where the Shia argued that Ali should have been the first caliph, and not the fourth one like the Sunni Muslims argue. During the reign of the third caliph named Uthman, unrest was growing and growing, to the point where rebels broke into Uthman's home and killed him while he was reading the Quran. This sparked outrage all across the empire and ignited the first Islamic civil war, and the fourth caliph Ali in the role to fix it. Long story short, Ali got assassinated.
And the one is the Shia thought should be the
family,
OG.
which were devout Sunnis and a powerful family, became the fifth caliph and started the Umayyad Caliphate.
Right.
All right,
now,
cool.
also, remember here too, you're also talking about Egypt. It was pretty amazing the spread that happened here by the Islamic leaders here, because again, you're talking about historically powerful places. Egypt, you got Mesopotamia, you got the Persian Empire. Pretty amazing, and doing this within the first century of Muhammad's death.
We are now getting close to the start of a story, so just bear with me just a little bit longer. The Umayyad Caliphate got bigger and more powerful as the years went on, to the point where they spread from India all the way to the bottom of France. It was a marvelous empire.
And at this time, sorry, this is stuff so interesting to me, and I love sharing, things about it. This is still that idea that Islam and the Islamic world is unified by one political entity. Now, the caliph, or the successor to Muhammad, is not seen as a prophet. Okay, Muhammad was that final prophet, but this is going to be more of a political, social, cultural leader. And it was still at this time that's seen that kind of like all Muslims are sort of like under that banner until the end of the Umayyads, and I'm sure I'll get to that.
If you were a prestigious Arab, that is, any other minority got treatments in Texas
Dome of the
that
Rock
were
built then,
blatantly unfair.
What year was Dome of the Rock
Aren't all these guys Arab, says the clueless American?
Late after
European?
this, right?
Well, not exactly. This part is Arab.
Right.
That part is Persian, the
Right.
people whose empire was defeated by the Arabs. They were mainly Shia Muslims.
Sure. And then you got Egyptians, you got Palestinians, you got all these different other groups of ethnic groups here.
Felt a strong affinity with the assassinated Caliph Ali. And you might have guessed it, the combination of unfair treatment plus religious differences caused these suppressed groups to come together as the Abbasid movement. And they were ready for a revolution. A bloody revolution.
More Arab.
The Umayyad Caliph, Marwan II, could feel the rain coming,
Superiority.
and rallied up his troops and headed to battle to face off the Abbasid army. However, the Umayyad soldiers were no match for the Abbasid armies, who were filled with a strong passion for justice for every civilian in the great empire.
So there's definitely something that needs to be talked about here. The Umayyads felt, basically, I guess you would say, as the Arabs were the first Muslims, right? And their leadership kind of stuck to the Arab model of things. And a lot of people didn't like that, because a lot of these, again, converts, like you're saying, there's Persian ones, there's those that come up in Mesopotamia, there's Egyptians, and by the, later on, you're going to get the people that are North Africa, like Berbers, and you got the people that are going to be the Moors, and all these different people that are not Arab and do not consent and believe in this idea of like Arab superiority and the rule of what Islam is going to be. And so they don't like that, because they're like, hey, the Quran says, like we're all equal here, but you guys are acting like you're superior, because yeah, okay, you're the original ones, and yes, the Quran is written in your language, but didn't see it that way. So I think the biggest mistake that Umayyads make here was trying to keep this like Arab superiority over all Muslims, and it's really no wonder that they're going to be revolted against.
Almost all the Umayyad soldiers, including the Caliph Marwan II, ended up being killed.
Rip.
But the Abbasids weren't done there. They wanted to bring justice to all the remaining family members of the Umayyad family. And back in the 750s, justice came in the form of death. Remember that scene from Star Wars where they issued Order 66? This was exactly the same. Rogue Abbasid agents all across the Caliphate started systematically killing every single member, servant, and
Man, so many
loyalist
empires
of
are
the
born
Umayyad
this
family.
way, huh?
And with the Abbasid army marching closer and closer to the city of Damascus, the capital of the Umayyad Caliphate,
Yep, Damascus.
unrest and
By the way, they're out of the Arabian Peninsula now. They're clear up in Damascus. That's Syria today. Much more economically viable place, though, than like ruling from Mecca.
Umayyad family was in full force. And here we find the protagonist of our story, Prince Abdullah Rahman. Or as his full name and title goes, Emir Abdullah Rahman ibn Muawiyah.
I don't know
ibn
any
Hisham.
of the individuals.
Emir means prince, Abdullah Rahman is his name, which means servant of God.
Involved in this,
Ibn means son of, and Muawiyah is his father, and Hisham his grandfather. But for simplicity's sake, we are just going to call him Prince Abdullah Rahman. Despite being a 20-year-old prince, he wasn't in line for the throne. But that didn't make any difference for the Abbasids. Every person Umayyad had to be game-ended.
This reminds me of like when the Mongols took over China and they pretty much tried to kill off like everybody from the Song dynasty. The heir to the Song dynasty was a little child. He was what, like 7 at that time, I think. And they went, because they were like, we don't want anybody that could have a future claim to this throne to exist anymore. There could be no claim to the old family.
Since getting ever so closer, Abdullah Rahman knew fighting wasn't an option. It was time to run.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know this individual story here, just the rise and fall of the Umayyads and rise of the Abbasids
here. With swords clashing in the hallway, time was of the essence.
And
first things first, the group had to decide where to flee to. Looking at the map, Yahya, the brother of Abdullah Rahman, suggested it made sense to try to outdistance the Abbasids as far as possible, meaning to head westwards towards Palestine. However, Badr, a freed slave man and close loyalist of the prince, argued against it and suggested they should avoid major roads and cities and to follow the Euphrates River up instead, potentially finding support and shelter along their way. Abdullah Rahman agreed, but that wasn't the only problem they had to tackle. How were they going to escape the city without getting detected? Sure, they could just try their luck and run, but that would mean that he had to leave his 4-year-old son and his sisters behind, something that the prince wouldn't dare to think about. Badr, once again, being experienced in a simpler lifestyle, came to the rescue. Disguises. Ditch the luxuries and bulking weapons. Cover your faces and only grab what is necessary. Leave the city as merchants. The group agreed and exited through the back door onto the streets.
You ever wondered, like, why it would be hard to disguise yourself back in those days? It's not like you had, like, photographs and real good, accurate depictions of people. I always kind of wondered how hard it must be to just identify people back in those days. Like, couldn't you just walk out?
Of chaos. With
say you're not
everywhere
that person
and unnecessary bloodshed tainting the streets of the fallen capital, the group set off and managed to slip their way out of the grasp of the Abbasids' wrath. For now.
In a convertible. Evil madman. Drop their bling.
Gather the horses. We are going on a hunt. Ah, shucks. Line. But first, we need to talk about the sponsor. That's right.
Let's see what they got here.
Thundering for War, because War Thunder sponsored us. Yeah. War Thunder is literally the most comprehensive vehicle combat game available for free on PC and consoles. Command over 2,500 different tanks,
Are
planes,
War Thunder and like World of
ships
Warships,
from
like are
10
those
major nations,
similar
featuring everything
companies?
from 1920s biplanes and armored cars
World of
to
Warships
modern
one of the
fighter
first
jets
sponsors.
and main battle tanks. Dive into War Thunder's intense combat with highly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects that make you feel like you are controlling the most powerful war machines ever built. And with realistic damage to individual components, blowing up enemies has never felt this satisfying before. If you want to try it out, use my link in the description to get 3 premium vehicles,
War
a
Thunder
50% experience and income booster, 2 vehicles to rent, 100,000 silver, and 7 days of premium. This offer is only available for a limited time though, and only for those who are new or haven't played for 6 months. With Damascus behind them, the group was far from safe. The Abbasids, now in control of the capital and the Caliphate, renamed the empire to the Abbasid Caliphate, which all but the western provinces
set up in Baghdad
around Spain and
later,
Morocco complied with. There was no more going back to the realm of luxury that the 2 princes were a part of. At the time, the group didn't know it yet, but they were the last remaining Umayyad blood alive in the entire Caliphate. Everyone else had been murdered. The group,
by the way, where are the
both
historically guys
and
from?
Physically, arrived late that day in a small
Somewhere in
village
Europe.
to rest up and prepare for the final stretch towards the river. The townsfolk, seemingly sympathizing with the prince and its cause, offered them a couple simple but warm tents for them to rest in. At last, after a traumatizing day, the group could finally close their eyes and sleep. But not for long.
Oh no. Someone's gonna rat him out. Someone wants the bag. Oh no. We're gonna get them in their sleep. It's like ring wraiths. Oh. Oh no.
My lord, they found us.
No, stay back! Gordon!
This is Buddy.
Wake my brother. I need to find my son. Oh no.
We out. No! No! There he is. We're looking for the ring.
No, my lord. If we die here, the bloodline dies with us. We have to go. And with pain in their hearts and no other choice, the trio left the village, leaving the rest of the group to its fate.
Okay. I actually have no idea how this ends, so like this is interesting. Fellowship's down to 3.
Just to
Fellowship of
clarify,
the Ring.
each one of the left-behind family members got killed that night by the
got no
Abbasid
feet.
hunters. Gosh, these Abbasids really are horrible, aren't they? Well, if you're an Umayyad, yeah, but for the rest of the
Yeah, I was
people,
gonna say.
they
Okay, that this guy has a sword through his chest.
aren't they? Well, if you're
We
an
just
Umayyad,
gonna skip this. What's going on here? Interestingly, yeah, the Abbasids. There's a lot of people that do like them. Remember, it was kind of a popular revolt that way against the Arab superiority of the Umayyads. And also they bring in what's referred to often as the Islamic Golden Age. It was the time period amongst these other dynasties that brought so much intellectual and cultural, artistic, all the different types of really categories of knowledge. We're on the precipice of that for the world.
yeah, but for the rest of the people,
By the way,
they
the
really
Mongols
weren't
will
that
slay
bad.
and
As a matter of fact, the
just
Islamic Golden Age happened in the Abbasid Empire.
slay the Abbasids
So,
later.
thank you, Abba. Very cool for killing my son. And 3 sisters. If we take a look at the magically updated map, we can tell that the situation is worse than I thought it was. Damascus has completely fallen, and the Abbasid armies are spreading out and taking down the remaining rogue soldiers. You might be thinking, why don't they just hop over into the Eastern Roman Empire and look for shelter there? Well, remember when the Arabs took half of their already half
No,
empire?
they're hated. They're
They
hated.
still didn't forget about that one.
No, they hate
Speaking
them.
of forgetting
They're
something,
not friends with them.
it seems like the Abbasid hunters are here to finish the job. With
There's
nowhere
nowhere
else
to
to
go.
go, the trio made a desperate run for the river and threw themselves into the water. The Abbasid hunters wore heavy clothing and armor and were on horses, thus in no shape for crossing a river. But neither was Yahya. Abdullah Rahman was
No.
always an athletic type, and better being a freed slave, naturally is used to do demanding physical tasks. But Yahya was more emir than swimmer.
pampered,
The three desperately started
unathletic,
to swim to the
out
other
of
side.
shape,
But the deeper into the
royal.
crossing they went, the stronger the current.
Yeah, those rivers are no
If
joke.
only I could just not cross or something. If you come back, we promise we won't kill you. All right, that's it. I'm going back. What
Oh,
are you
gosh.
doing, brother? Hurry, we can't go back. Just
Rip.
last night, they killed our sisters and my son. You can't trust them. Bro, relax. They promised. Surely they wouldn't break that. Oh. What a dumbass. You reckon it would work again? Doesn't hurt to try. Hey,
What did you
I know
learn?
we just killed your brother and all that, but if you come back, we won't kill you. And so Abdullah Rahman swam back, became
Doubt.
best friends
Press
with
X
the
for
murderer of
doubt.
his entire bloodline, and the Arab countries would never be in another war ever again. Is what the prince wished he could believe, but better going far beyond the pay grade, pulled them away from the river, and the two of them ran like their lives depended on it. Which it did. The two kept running and running, till there was no more land to run on.
They made it to the Mediterranean.
I guess this is it, huh? Is it though? Better. I am the last one of the Umayyad clan. Everyone else is dead. They count on me better. I can't just give up and accept my fate or hide in exile. For Allah's sake, what do you think my son would say if he saw me surrender? Why do you imagine me as a little baby? Probably nothing good. Listen, as much as I want to cry and weep in a hole, which, believe me, I really do, I still can't. At least, not till we have delivered justice. Here, give me your map. 40 years ago, my great-grandfather, Al-Walid I, led a massive invasion on Al-Andalus and conquered almost everything of the peninsula. If there's one place we can go to for support, it has to be there. Makes sense. I heard the local governor there has been trying to establish his own rule in defiance of the Umayyad family.
The Abbasids don't rule over there either, by the way.
Which means it's very likely he also won't give in to the Abbasids. We cross through Africa, rally up an army,
they're going to do their own thing for the next
and conquer back our empire that the Abbasids have taken from us. It will be a long and treacherous journey. The Abbasid horsemen and Mr. Scarface won't stop till we escape their lands. Not to mention the many Berber tribes we will come across, and we will
Berbers
be
are the North Africans.
Friendly. Better we freed you from slavery, and your debt has been more than repaid. If you want to leave, I understand. I will never leave you, Mr. Frodo. Thanks, Sam. Alright then, let's rest our legs and dig in for another night. As tomorrow, we start our quest to defeat the governor and declare war on the Abbasid Empire.
Oh, snap. Alright. Alright, so now I can see that they are going to, there's going to be a sequel. So the sequel that we'll check out next is the one that you guys voted on, but we needed to get this. It makes sense. It's got a lot of context here. So, all right, you guys, thanks for watching. And yeah, stay tuned for the next part. Make sure you subbed. Make sure that you like the video. Okay, original video again is linked down below. Going to thank the patrons and the YouTube channel members. YouTube channel members, you got to see this video first. So if you want to join, that's one of the perks that you can get among others. All right, see y'all later. Bye.